Morning, everyone. This morning for our sermon, we talked about kind of the aftermath after Jesus healed the paralyzed man and his confrontation with the Pharisees after. We talked about how the Pharisees they're probably, at least most of them were probably evil people, but got so caught up in following the rules that God had laid out for them that they missed kind of the point in following those rules, right? They wanted to follow God. They wanted everyone else to follow God exactly how He said that they should, but they missed God's heart in that, and they missed actually what God was doing. And from then we talked about how Jesus was telling them basically exactly who He was, and just how dependent He was on the Father. And also just talk about how He and the Father are one, and that whatever God tells Him to do, the Father, He does exactly that. And just Jesus, while He was on earth, and even now, He does exactly what the Father asks Him to do. And so for us, looking to Jesus as our example and how we are to follow God, like that is what we are supposed to do. Look to what God has said, look to what He calls us to do, and obey that. And so I hope that in our lives today and going forward, that we don't just stick into like, oh, this is what I feel like God is. I feel like what God says, and so I'm just going to do exactly that. And anyone else who doesn't do what I do, then they're probably wrong. I hope that we are a little bit more open to the work that God has for us, and also experience the joy that comes from walking with Him. Hope that we aren't like the Pharisees and just being like, nope, do these rules and you're good. But that our hearts are always soft, always looking to God. Be like, what do you want from me today? How are you at work in my work? How are you at work in my kids, and in whatever situations we find ourselves in? Hopefully that we have soft hearts and are looking to God. Hope you have a great time discussing in your small groups.